Alright, it's been a while since I've done a video, so I figured I'd go ahead and do that. I'll try to get them out a little bit more often. So let's start here at the S&P futures. Obviously they've had a bullish run here. After election cycle, they held the secondary 76.4 here at 21.53, and they've pushed through volume and are now within, give or take, 10 points here in the overnight session from all-time highs. We can also see that there's a lack of volume from this price up into the all-time highs. So any push over this could probably come with quite a bit of ease, or any strength in the market. We can also see here that the rising wedge that we were in, which we broke to the downside pre-election, we have now come back up into the pattern. So we'll have to see again. Typically when patterns break, they break one way, they regain, and then they break out the other way. So we'll have to see if this is something that does the same. Obviously first resistance is 21.91.5 at the all-time high, and then up into the top of the pattern here, sitting about 22.30 or so right now, give or take. I think that the biggest thing to look at right now is the Nasdaq. We can see that the NQ isn't as close to the all-time high as ES is. Here on the NQ, we are channeling into the all-time highs, but as of the overnight session, we are currently sitting right at the back test of the tertiary 61.8. We can also see that there's quite a bit of volume here from the 61.8 all the way up into the 76.4. That's 7.8 or 47.80 to 48.30, give or take. Obviously it's on the 1 year, and then in the 3 year you can see that it's not quite as much of a build out as the support all the way down here in the 4500s, but it is still quite a bit of volume. So we're going to need to see here in the next day or so, are we going to find acceptance above the 61.8 and into volume so we can move through it and possibly test a breakout higher on the Nasdaq and all-time highs? Or are we going to find a rejection here at volume and the 61.8 and then come back down and retest the break above the 50 that we had today here at 47.39? If we look at a couple of the underlying Nasdaq stocks, we've got Apple here, for example. Let's pull it back out into a 3 year. Get rid of this channel. Alright, so we can see that Apple set this range here from the 89.47 lows here in the May of 16, then went up into the 118 area. Since then it's lost about half the value, sitting down here at the 104. We can see there's quite a bit of Fibonacci confluence down here. 102.9 is the lifetime 23.6. We've got the secondary 38.2 here, also in the 104 range, and then finally that 50 there, the 104 as well. To the upside, what we're looking at resistance-wise is the 38.2 here at 107.50 or so, give or take. Also, Apple has a bit of volume here once it gets into the 108s or so. But we did see Apple fall through the tertiary 50 here at 112, and it didn't really give a true backtest into it, so it wouldn't be a shock to see Apple move up here into this range and try to backtest 111 as well. If we want to strike a fib from the high set here into the lows here in Apple, we can see that's only retraced about 23.6% of the move from its highs there at the beginning of October down into the lows today. With the acceptance of price over the tertiary 38 to 106.73, I think it gives more bias upside to at least test here into the 109s to 110 area. Again, there is volume in the 108, so it might not be a quick ascent on Apple. It could last, a couple days to move up here into the 110, so we'll just have to watch it. Apple does hold is the highest percentage holder in the Nasdaq and the QQQs at just about 10.5%. So what Apple does will definitely dictate if Nasdaq can break into volume or if it gets rejected. The next holder is Microsoft. I haven't messed with a Microsoft chart in a while. The next holder on this is Microsoft. It has a 8.3% of the holds 8.3% of the QQQ. I haven't charted this for a while, but so this really isn't going to matter, but I just want it there as a visual reference. Obviously, Microsoft pushing all-time highs here. Push through them and then back down below them a little bit. So I guess what we could do here is put a target with the 161.8 there at 62.3, and then we can also run a fib retracement from those lows there, and we can call it secondary. And then let's see, 1, 2. Well, there's not much volume up here, so let's just go to a 3-year for now. All right, so this paints a little bit better picture. Actually, let's just go into the 1-year. We pushed price into all-time high. We came back under. We rejected the previous all-time high at 60. We fell in. Looks like Microsoft gap filled here at the high volume area on the 1-year at 57.5 or so. And then since then it's bounced up and over the 23.6 of this move. Which, I mean, net bullish. It's using previous resistance as support. So nice long there over the 58.25 area. It looks like price has come, tested up into the 50 of the drop, and then sitting right at the 38.2 here on the tertiary. So we'll need to see if we can get support price there so we can retest this 59.32. Looks like it just did that in one day. What's that? Oh wow, yeah, started off really strong and then kind of fell off a little during the mid to end of day, but still looks like it's going to try to hold this 38.2. So that'll be interesting to see. If we do get a hold here, then do we get this retest back up into the 59.32 area? We can see that a lot of the tech stocks on the 20-day look kind of like broken inverse head and shoulders. This one is pretty weak, but you can see there was a channel of support, and the support came in here. Price then dropped lower, and now we have a higher support here at the 58.84 with the called a neckline here at the 50 at 59.32. This one's pretty sloppy, but just for visual reference, you can see that it is holding this price. So we'll need to see maybe if we do get a test higher. Just looking at the volume when it dropped down, any break over 59.32 looks like probably a fill up into 59.81. That's where the 20-day volume is, as well as the tertiary 61.8. And then that previous high almost as a back test after the breakdown. Amazon. Well, let's see what's going on here on Amazon. Alright, so Amazon makes this huge run. It's fallen down. It's caught the secondary 38.2 from the 474 low up into the 847 highs. 38.2 has caught it, and we have yet to back test the 23.6 here in the breakdown. Volume wise, we have support down here in where it bounced in the 700s, and then it looks like we resume volume here right about 760. Let's do on a shorter term. Just put this fib on here. Oh, we can do a 1 year. Okay, so if we break it down into the 1 year, assuming that was the bottom of this drop down here at 710.10, we can see that Amazon has regained, or is trying to regain, the 23.6 here tertiary at 742.5 or so. If we do see price get above there, there's a smaller amount of volume within this range to easily backtest up into the 760 area. That was the breakdown price as well. It supported multiple times here and then once again right here before it broke down. So I wouldn't be shocked to see maybe just a backtest into the 759 to 762 area. And then if strength does come in, it can test back up here into volume. But right now, with volume being as thin as it is, this looks like, as long as the market goes green, this should be a move that it follows through. And then again here, take it to the 20, 1 hour, and you can see again here on Amazon, it's inverse head and shoulder, one there. You got your more bullish side here, and then obviously your head down here. And then it's using the 23/6's neckline, 242.5 up to 246 or so, give or take. So we'll want to see if we find acceptance up over this 242.46. If this is the back test and then it holds, we'll look for that to fire up and test there into our target. Obviously, you've got this low here at 753, which might cause a bit of an issue. But other than that, I would think you would test back up here into the 759, 762 area. We can go into Google real quick. We can see the same type of pattern. We've got like a left side here. It drops out of channel. It's got a head, and then we gap up, and we are starting to form this other left side. We're finding resistance here. It looks like the tertiary 38.2 here at 780 is acting as resistance. There's not much volume in this general area. I wonder if that's just the chart. Yeah, so there's still a little bit of a null in volume here in Google from 780 up into about 787. The 50 and the breakdown here is at 791. It acted as support quite a few times as well, and then again resistance here. So if we do see price cross over 780, I look for that 791 test. And that'll probably, if we get all these things to fire, Google's at 8.7%, Amazon's 6.25%. So you would think that if these types of plays fired, we'd probably see Nasdaq at least push up and into the volume. If we find acceptance, that's different, but I would expect a break up and over that 50 that we discussed if we see some of these things going. Who knows what it'll take to get it up and over there. But we can even see if we break it down here into the 5 minute, we've got multiple tests into it. It's holding nice ground here, but I don't know. I would assume that it would take news to push it through in the overnight session, but I guess we'll just have to find out when we wake up in the morning how it's acting. We can check the small cap real quick. Pushed into new all-time highs and has been holding new all-time highs or above previous all-time highs here for the last 2 days or so. Just an absolute huge move. I would watch for the small caps to come back at some point and maybe backtest this 1292 completely. We can see here yesterday we had to cross through it, and price didn't trade a full day over the top of it. So it'll be interesting to see when 1292 does come back to be tested, if it does hold, or if we see a move back down here into the 1260s to backtest the breakout. I think that'll be it for tonight. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just give me a direct message.